Yikes, Boston Red Sox. Yikes. Ugh. This one, you have to feel like, what the heck were the Boston Red Sox doing here? So it's PLB with MLB News, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Workman and Heath Hembree being traded to the Philadelphia Phillies for Nick Pivetta and Connor Seabold and cash considerations. So make sure you drop a like on this video. It's 9:45 right now, and I turned off the Braves game to film this video. So there's no reason for you not to leave a like, so go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you will get notified whenever I upload a video. And link to my other channels in the description below, and let's go ahead and get into this video. So, my initial thought was the Boston Red Sox just got robbed in this trade. And that's because Workman last year was one of the best closers in baseball. And I know he hasn't started off the season well. I know that. But he was one of the best closers in baseball last year. And you traded him away for essentially nothing? That's ridiculous to me. And let's go ahead and look at his stats from some of the previous years. So far this season, he has 0 wins, 0 losses, a 4.05 ERA, 7 games, 0 games started, and 4 saves. The Red Sox this year suck, so there's not much to save. But he does have 4 saves. In 2019, he was 10-1 with a 1.88 ERA, 15 saves, and 73 games. In 2018, he was 6-1 with a 3.27 ERA, 43 games, and 7 saves, which is still a good season. Not as good as his 2019 season, obviously, but still good. 2018, he was 6-1 with a 3.27 ERA, 43 games, 7 saves. 2017, he had a 1-1 record with a 3.18 ERA, 33 games, and 4 saves. That was his first year in the bullpen. In 2014, he was mostly starting pitching, and he had a 1-10 record with a 5.17 ERA, 19 games, 15 started. So overall in his MLB career, he has 24 wins, 16 losses, and a 3.75 ERA, and 20 saves. Yeah, 20 saves. So Workman was one of the best closers in baseball last year, and you traded him for essentially nothing. Now let's talk about what this makes the Philadelphia Phillies in this trade. And for me, it makes the Philadelphia Phillies the second place team right now, especially with the Nationals playing just terrible right now. And the Mets aren't a good enough team. And adding these 2 bullpen arms, Workman's obviously going to be in the 9th inning. You still have Hector Neris there, and you have Heath Hembree. I think one more bullpen arm, and they could really be the second place team and possibly sneak into the playoffs, I think. Obviously, if they're the second place team, they're going to make the playoffs. And I think as of right now, if the Nationals keep on playing bad, I personally think the Nationals are the second best team in the division. I obviously think the Braves are the best team in that division. I think the Nationals, if they play well, are the second place team in this division. And the Phillies are probably third place just because the Mets, I don't think they're nearly as good of a team right now, especially with JT Realmuto and other players for the Phillies starting off this season hot. Let's go ahead and talk about Heath Hembree, who the Phillies will be getting as well. So far in 2020, he's got a 2-0 record, 5.59 ERA, 11 games, 0 started, 0 saves in 9.2 innings, 10 strikeouts, and a 1.24 whip. And in 2019, he had a 1-0 record with a 3.86 ERA, 45 games, and 2 saves. In 2018, he had a 4-1 record with a 4.20 ERA, 67 games. In 2017, he had a 2-3 record with a 3.63 ERA in 62 games. And in 2016, he had a 4-1 record with a 2.65 ERA in 38 games, probably the best year of his career. And in 2015, he had a 2-0 record with a 3.55 ERA in 22 games, 0 started. So Heath Hembree is a good pitcher. And I think he would do a lot for this bullpen. And so let's talk about what the Red Sox get back. And I know they're looking for starting pitching. I'm aware. But this does not help their team any. Nick Pivetta is terrible. He is just not good. So far on the season, he's 0-0 with a 15.88 ERA, 3 games, 0 started. Now, I know it's a small sample size in 5.2 innings, but when he was with the Phillies, he was reassigned to the minor leagues to the inner squad, not inner squad, to pretty much AAA, if you're looking at it correctly. 2019, he was 4-6 with a 5.38 ERA, 30 games, 13 started. That's not a good season. 2018, he was 7-14 with a 4.77 ERA, 33 games, 32 started. 2017, 8-10 with a 6.02 ERA, 26 games started. He's not a good pitcher. Why did they trade for him? Is my question. This makes no sense for the Red Sox. The Red Sox are a team that should be competing now. They have Alexander Bogaerts. They have Rafael Devers. They have Andrew Benintendi. They have players that are ready to compete now. And those players aren't going to want to stay there if they have a bad team. And this did not help them any. Because I think Brandon Workman is going to be a good reliever this year. I don't think he's going to keep up his 4 ERA. I think Heath Hembree is always a good reliever. And the Phillies finally go out and address that relief pitching, which is a big need, obviously. Their starting pitching isn't great towards the back end, but that can be fixed at the trade deadline, too, I think. Maybe they get a number 4 and number 5 starter, but I do think they need that number 4 with Wheeler, Nola, and Arrieta at the top. They need the number 4 and possibly a number 5. But for the Red Sox in this trade, this is just not a good trade. It's very simple to me. It's not a good trade. And I just don't understand this for the Red Sox. A team that is supposed to be competing now. And maybe they think they can develop Nick Pivetta to a good player. I don't think he's that good of a player. And maybe they have some kind of thing that they're thinking they can develop him, but I don't think so. I mean, whatever. This trade is a bad trade for the Boston Red Sox. Let's go ahead and talk about Connor Seabold. So, in 2019, he was 4-2 with a 2.24 ERA, 12 games, 11 started. But most of that was in Double A ball. In Single A ball, well, let's just kind of in the GCL, the rookie league, pretty much. He had a 0-0 record with a 0.00 ERA, 2 games started. In Clearwater, where their Single A advanced team, 1-0 record with a 1.00 ERA, 2 games, 1 started. With the Reading Fighting Fields in Double A ball, 3-1 record with a 2.25 ERA, 7 games started, and then in the rookie league with another affiliate of the Phillies, 0-1 record with a 11.57 ERA. Overall in that season, he had a 4-2 record with a 2.24 ERA. So he was good in 2019. In 2018, not so good. 5-8 with a 4.28 ERA. 23 games started. And in 2017, 2-0 record with an 0.90 ERA. 5 games, 0 started. So he was drafted in the 3rd round in 2017 by the Phillies. He was a non-roster invite this year. Overall in his minor league career, he's 11-10 with 3.52 ERA, 40 games, 34 games started, 1 complete game, 196.2 innings, 163 hits, 80 runs, 77 earned runs, 19 home runs given up. So I personally think Connor Seabold has the more upside than Nick Pivetta right here for the Red Sox. I think he could be a decent player for them, a decent underrated player for them. He was drafted high in the draft round 3. And it may not seem too high, but it was. He got pitcher of the week with Clearwater. So I think it could be a pretty nice pickup for the Red Sox. So I think Connor Seabold is the one that you'll hear more. Nick Pivetta is going to be a okay back-end starter. I mean, he can eat up innings, which is pretty much what you need. From Nick Pivetta, you don't need him to be your number one. And this year, the Red Sox are not competing. They're 8-18 right now. They're not competing this year. Maybe they're fighting for 4th place, but then you're like, that's pointless. So it was rumored earlier today that the Phillies were looking to acquire Brandon Workman mainly. But I also think Hembree is kind of a steal for them. Connor Seabold for the Red Sox is probably the better player, I think, for the future. I think he's a good, possibly number 3 starter for this team. And for next year, I guess you could say you've got Sale, you've got Rodriguez, you've got Eovaldi, you've got Martin Perez as well, and Nick Pivetta at probably the number 5. I think Connor Seabold probably still needs maybe another year of minor league baseball just because he hasn't passed Double-A yet. I think he needs probably another year, so he might not be up till 2022, I would say. And for the Red Sox here, I think they could have asked for a lot more back. They didn't ask for Scott Kingery. No, they didn't want him apparently, which that makes sense because they've got Benintendi, Bradley, and Verdugo in that outfield. But still, you want the best player, and the second base is a hole right now. They should be getting. They should try to get Scott Kingery, I think, from the Phillies, but whatever. But yeah, I think if I was giving a grade for both teams, I think for the Phillies, you probably get a A. They didn't do much wrong in this one. And for the Red Sox, you probably get a good old F. They screwed up this trade. That's all I can say. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I upload a video. Yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more videos soon.